Hello and welcome to another episode of Serving Harrison, and today we're on site at the HighCliff State Park here in the village of Sherwood and the village of Harrison. And we've had the great opportunity to connect with the local resident, Greg Burns, to talk about the history of the HighCliff State Park and how its roots and when it became a state park and what it was prior to the state park. So we hope you enjoy this episode about learning a little bit more about the HighCliff State Park and what the history is behind it. Today we're here with Greg Burns. Greg, could you maybe describe kind of your relationship with the group that kind of oversees this from a philanthropy or whatever that word is standpoint on with the Friends of this HighCliff State Park? So can you just kind of give us a little background in that?
Well, the Friends are a volunteer organization that's associated with the park and has been in existence since 1997. There are about 100 members.
Okay.
And the work of the Friends is very much focused on supporting the park through fundraising, volunteer projects, and hosting events. And they also sponsor significant projects at the park. And this project, the remediation of the Lime Kiln Trail, is a very significant project for the Friends. The Friends took it on in 2022.
Okay.
And the trail, the Lime Kiln Trail, is the signature trail for HighCliff State Park.
It is, and maybe you could just tell a little bit about, for people that haven't been here, kind of the lime kiln and how that all plays into the escarpment and how that, the HighCliff name and all of that kind of comes together.
Well, where we're standing, and there's an iconic rock column on my right, your left, and there's a gap between the rock column and the escarpment itself. And that rock column could have occurred thousands of years ago, could have occurred millions of years ago, separated from the main escarpment, and is tipping a little bit towards Lake Winnebago. And at some point, probably in distant future, that'll fall as part of just the normal deterioration of and aging of the Niagara Escarpment. The escarpment itself is a 650-mile crescent that begins in New York at Niagara Falls. And goes up northwest into Canada, comes down under Lake Huron and under Lake Michigan, comes down through the Door County Peninsula, and then flows or moves all the way north to south through HighCliff State Park. So the park gets its name because of its association with this very unique and geologically significant, globally significant geologic feature. And the park has had over 100 years of different uses by, I'll call them, European settlers. First for quarrying the rock. It's called dolostone. Some people call it dolomitic limestone. But for quarrying purposes, for building. And then that work moved to lime production. And it was lime production that was last occurring here before the state of Wisconsin purchased the property from the Western Lime and Cement Company in 1954.
Okay.
And then the park first opened in 1957, was dedicated as a state park in 1964. And today is fourth busiest state park in the state. Almost 700,000 visitors a year.
Wow. So you talked about the lime, production. Part of the lime kilns down below, which we'll see in a little bit. Is that where the production? Is that where the lime was processed?
That's a good term. That's where it was processed.
Okay.
But the stone that was cooked and processed to produce the lime came from the quarry area to our north here in the park.
Okay. So we are standing today in front of a major investment asset on this trail. So maybe you can talk a little bit about these new stairs and what this means to the users of this trail.
Well, I mentioned earlier that the Lime Kiln Trail is a signature trail for HighCliff State Park. And it was recognized, this area in the park was recognized early on as an area that was unique in its association with the Niagara Escarpment, geologically significant, and just beautiful. Provided then and now an opportunity for intimate association with nature for visitors. And unfortunately, over the years, the trail was not funded well by the state for continued maintenance and upkeep. And so while there were stairs in this location back to probably the 1990s, they were made of weathered, out of treated lumber.
Sure.
And had deteriorated over the years and needed replacement. So a major element of the work that has been done so far in remediating the trail, improving it, has been associated with replacing these stairs and another set of stairs midway down the trail. And so instead of using treated lumber this time, we used
metal,
weathered steel.
Right.
And so this color that the steps have already taken on is the aging process, natural aging process for the steel. And it's projected that this steel will last at least 70 years.
Sure.
So well beyond my lifetime, maybe even yours.
Right. So can you just tell the folks how long have you been involved with this group?
How long have I personally been
Yeah.
involved? Since about 2020, so about 6 years.
And do you have a position?
Well, I've served as a secretary for the board
Okay.
of the Friends of HighCliff as a board member for 6 years, and we're limited to 2 3-year terms. So
Okay.
my 2 3-year terms were up in 2026, but I've been engaged with the remediation project for the
Okay.
Lime Kiln Trail since the Friends adopted it as a major project in 2022.
This wraps up another edition of Serving Harrison at the HighCliff State Park, and we encourage you to come out and check out the great overlooks that the HighCliff State Park has high above Lake Winnebago. Thank you.